Magic is real and it's being used against you. A lot of people, I mean most people nowadays really honestly, when you boil it right down to brass tacks, most people just don't believe in God. They don't believe in magic. They don't believe in anything supernatural. Science, science, science. At least in modern countries, first world countries. Third world countries, a lot of them will believe in curses and stuff like that because they're real, but they don't realize that if you're actually following God, if you're actually doing what God says, that it doesn't hold power over you. But this is mainly for the people that don't believe in magic. Magic is real. It's very real. On top of just demonic forces that are just actively, working against everyone. People are doing satanic rituals. There's magical amulets. Recently I had a dream, maybe 6 months back, I had a dream where, in the dream I was just walking around my neighborhood. It was kind of a nice night out, nice, like kind of a dusky, going into the nighttime, but not quite nighttime. It's kind of my favorite time of day. And I was just outside relaxing. It was a cool night, walking down the street, looking at the sky and stuff. And all of a sudden, I just get the feeling that something's, evil's around. And I look behind me, and there's like this big black wolf, like huge thing. Must have been like 250-pound wolf. And maybe a 200-pound wolf. It's around there. It was big. I mean, it was almost as big as I am, except like a wolf, and I'm a pretty big guy. And yeah, it was bigger than me actually. It was a big wolf. But anyway, yeah, I see this thing. I'm terrified of it, and I'm like, should I try and run? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try and run because I was right at my yard already. So all I had to do was make it to the door before it could make it a block or so. And I felt like, I think I can make it. And as soon as I started running, it started running. And I made it inside the door in time and closed it just in time. And like as soon as I closed the door, like I hear it, like it had pounced on the door, like it was jumping for me, and I just happened to close it and lock it in time. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm still not safe. That thing was a big, a really big wolf. It could just come in through the windows. It could probably even break the door down. And as I'm like thinking that, it had only been like a second or two since I'd closed the door. And I'm thinking that it bust in through the window. And so I ran upstairs. This was a house I'd never been in. Even though in the dream I recognized it and I knew where I was going and everything. So I ran upstairs into my room in the dream. And like, I go into my closet and I'm like trying to hide in there. And the closet doesn't have really like closet doors. It's almost like these kind of blind shades here. And I wasn't really completely hidden. It could see me. It was missing blind shades, but I was hiding as best I could in my mind. And because I really didn't want to try and fight this wolf. It was huge. And anyway, it's like slowly stalking up the stairs after me and stuff. It wasn't even running anymore. And it's like just walks into the room and it's like sniffing around and stuff. It looks one way and then it looks like right at me where I'm at. And I'm like, okay, so it sees me, it knows where I'm at now. So my choices are either just stand here and die, or I'm going to bring the fight to it. So I charged it. I grabbed it by the mane, and I punched it. And then I woke up. But when I woke up, I actually woke up into another dream. And as soon as I woke up into another dream, I had the realization that I was dreaming. I had the realization that the last dream I had was a magical attack. And I had the realization that the person that was responsible for that magical attack was present in the dream that I was actually aware of. When I woke up, kind of like a lucid dream. It was a lucid dream, I guess. But I could feel the presence of somebody else in my dream who I knew was responsible for having caused the bad dream that I just had. So I wake up, and all I can sense is his presence in terms of what direction that I need to try and head to in order to try and get to this guy, because I was wanting to do something to him. I was angry. He was trying to hurt me in my dream, and I knew what was going on. I know who God is, and I was angry. So, anyway, I woke up, and the room that I'm initially in is just a really bland gray room, just like cement walls and floors, almost like a prison-like room. Yeah, almost basically exactly like a prison-like room now I'm thinking about it, except there weren't even any windows. It was just a room. And there was just a bed in there, like a regular plain prison-looking bed, just white sheets on it. Anyway, I wake up, I'm sitting upright, I'm like, I'm in a dream. I just woke up from a nightmare. Someone's responsible for this. Those are the thoughts, those are like the exact thoughts that I'm having. And my spirit is pointing me exactly where this guy is in my dream. Dreams almost have physical location. It's strange. But anyway, there's only one door in this room that I wake up in, so I open the door, and when I walk outside, it's not outside. It's almost like a big cafeteria area. Again, there's no windows or anything, but it's a gigantic, maybe even like a gymnasium would be a way to describe it. But again, just very, very drab, gray floors, gray walls. The ceiling, I don't even really remember seeing, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. I just remember it was a very big room, maybe like 300 feet, maybe 300 feet long. It's a pretty big room, and there's just a bunch of cafeteria tables, almost like in a schoolroom or in prison or something again, just a bunch of cafeteria tables, and there's all kinds of people at these tables eating, and you know, just talking, you know, seemingly having a good time, and some people I recognized that I've seen throughout my life, some people that I don't, and at the very distance, like, you know, like I say, it was like 300 feet away almost, so I couldn't really even see him that good, but I could make out, my spirit could sense who was responsible for it. I could see him in the distance, and it was like, I started walking towards him, and I knew who I needed to start heading towards, you know, that he was the one responsible for it. So I started walking towards him, and this woman came out of nowhere. She's a pretty woman that I've seen before in my life, and she's just basically trying to hold me up, just talk to me or whatever. But I already knew I was in a dream, so it's like, okay. I just kept moving. I just completely ignored her and kept moving. So I'm keep heading towards him. I'm getting closer. Now I'm maybe 150 feet away, and nothing else is really, you know, impacting me. I'm just walking around all these people, looking at them. They're just talking to each other. It's just very bizarre. They were almost all, you know, almost all hypnotized or something like that. Like they weren't aware that they're all together. They're all only aware of the people right next to them and stuff. Very strange. Anyway, I'm walking along, and, you know, basically like a gang-like group comes up to me and is like trying to intimidate me or something from heading towards this guy. I just look at him, I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, okay, I could, you know, try and fight you guys, but this is just a dream too, like it doesn't matter. So I just walked around them. What, were you going to attack me in my own dream? Get out of here. So I just kept walking. Of course they didn't attack me, and I'm looking at the guy in the distance, and I was really angry now because I knew what he's trying, you know, this whole thing is just making me angry. And like my spirit, once it was like almost no one else between me and him, once a clear line of sight, it was very strange. I was just looking at him, and then suddenly like I rushed in on him, like my spirit, like almost, you know, I just zoomed in on him really quick. And right before I got to him though, like I was really close to him, maybe 3 or 4 feet from him. So like I closed like 100 feet. I mean, like, and right before I got to him, I woke up. He looked angry and a little bit surprised, and then I woke up. So, you know, other people might think that's just a dream. That's the only dream in my life that I've ever had where I felt like somebody else was actually responsible and actually in my dream, and not just demonic in nature, just a generally demonic dream. This was somebody actually attacking me using some kind of magic. And it's happening to everybody. So whether you're in a dream or whether it's real life, it really doesn't matter. When you're in a position where there's no hope, call on the Lord. Call on the Holy One of Israel. Call on Jesus Christ, who came down in the flesh and died for our sins and took them upon himself, and he'll deliver you. God bless.